Welcome back, you guys. It's Connor O'Reilly, and you know where we're at. Maple Hill. This will be the first time I've ever filmed a practice round after the tournament, but I think it might be a cool way to give some perspective on, how I played each hole throughout the week and which holes I need to improve on, which holes I played well. I think if you guys kept up with my score, you guys know which holes I need to improve on. That's hole 6 and hole 9. So excited to play those again today and excited to show you guys this legendary track. Let's check it out. This year we saw some changes to hole 1. They offered a par 3 position. I took 2 pars on that, kind of boring. Did get 1 of 2 pars on the par 4 position. I'm gonna play to the long pin here and on hole 9 today, but we'll talk about the short pins as well. I like to play a little bit of a flex with the medium stable Warbird here off the tee. Little left there, we'll have to figure something out in the short Christmas trees. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, woke up feeling a little stiff this morning after 5 straight days of playing some Maple Hill. I did quite a bit of extra throwing too after round 2. And yeah, so it might take me a hole or 2 to get them bombs going. Not gonna be a good view from here, but I'm gonna try to throw flex forehand towards the barn entrance. Triple mandatory. I'm gonna go horny toad just to err on the short side. Keep it straight, give myself a long putt if anything. Right towards the gap, should be a long putt. So this year, as many of you guys know, they added the chipmunk gate. I love the addition. I saw too many people get lucky coming through this side, entering the green. Now you have to play a pure shot through the gate to give yourself an opportunity, or you can lay up short and try to chip it in. So add some decision making on that second shot. Adds more skill in my opinion. First jumper of the day, Steph Curry. Cool feature of the gate is it has all the past winners located on the sides. Pretty cool. And big congrats to Missy Gannon and James Proctor for taking it down in their respective fields. James from the drop zone at 18, filthy. Par on 1 never feels terrible. You throw a good drive though, you definitely want to attack that second. Start yourself off hot on this course because the middle definitely tightens up on you a little bit. The early part is definitely a spot where you can get a good rhythm going. Okay, I felt I played hole 2 pretty solid this weekend. 2 down with like a missed 20-footer final round for birdie, so I had a chance to go 3 down on it. Playing my Alpha Wrangler, this beautiful die my guy Zane Wim did for me. Just playing it flat, letting it get a little bit of natural turn, come back. Gotta look. Well, going to USDGC, we're gonna have a lot of flat ground putting, but I need to work on my uphill stances for sure. Hole 3 shaped beautifully for the right hand backhand. Put a touch of flex on a straight to slightly stable disc and have it fight back. The gap gets more narrow the more flex you want to put on your disc, so if you go more overstable, you're gonna have to deal with a little bit more of that tighter gap. That's why I like to go a little bit more neutral, so I'm choosing the Wrangler here. So yeah, in the tourney, I got 2 bullseyes here with this disc, so turned out pretty well. Let's see if we can replicate it. Nope. Early release there, gonna have to heave a 140-footer. Pretty tight over here. I'm gonna take my horny toad, throw a soft forehand, just try to put it close. Don't get too cheeky. This one does slope away on the backside. Infamous hole 4 Maple Hill, one of the shortest, actually definitely the shortest hole on the course, also the most narrow gap to fit that shortness. You'll see a lot of different plays here. You'll see jump putts, you'll see tomahawks, thumbers. I prefer the standstill backhand. You also kind of see people pinch the left side of the tee box and throw a forehand. But I like going with my Tour Series penny putter. If I just release it flat through the gap, it'll do the rest. It's a putt. Yeah, a little soft on hyzer there, but gave myself a long opportunity. During the tournament, I hit the gap every day, but only gave myself one birdie. It happened to be on the longest putt look I had from like 55 off to the right, so you just got to hit a little bit of flatter angle on that shot, and this one's really about just choosing what you're comfortable with and going with that. Maybe I should have warmed up my putter, you guys. Every putt is short right now. Oh my gosh. All right, hole 5, I played even on the weekend. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys. Definitely want to clean that up and make sure I don't hang the disc out too wide, because that was my mistake twice on this hole. No, it wasn't. It was my mistake once. I missed the putt the other time and took an OB. But yeah, I've been going with the Chupacabra here. Spike hyzer forehand. You either go spike ante backhand, spike hyzer forehand. I prefer the forehand here. And the Chupacabra ranges out perfectly for this one. We got a putt. As you can see, I'm inside the circle, but I'm surrounded by these small little manzanita-like trees. If you know what they are, let me know in the comments. They do block up a lot of those short side of circle 1 putts. Also, you'll notice the basket's not on the elevated riser anymore. They took those down, obviously, overnight, so we're not going to have any of those. Which that would honestly make this putting window a little bit easier if the basket was taller. So this is a good example of when you enter your lie, you're supposed to try to get in the least intrusive way. So I tried to walk around the leaves and come in through here versus just trying to pin it back and get in the way and get myself comfortable, because that's technically not a legal stance. You're supposed to take the least intrusive lie to the fauna around you. Not the fauna, the flora. Hopefully you're not bodying a chipmunk out the way. Here you never know though. And the reason you take your time is if I realize if I just put my freaking left foot on the disc, I have a pretty wide open putt, y'all. All right, we made a putt. It's time to roll now. If you kept up with my MVP Open, you'll know this hole was kind of my nemesis. Was already playing it poorly coming into the final round, and then took a nightmare of an 8. So this is the hole that I'm really out for revenge on, this and hole 9. So you'll get to see both of those on the front 9 here. I have been going back in. First 2 rounds, that didn't really work out well, and I've been playing that the last year, and it also wasn't really working out well for me, so I came back, practiced the forehand. First shot I threw with the howler was good, and so I switched to that for day 3 here. Ended up barely going out of bounds, and then missed my putt for 3 save, took a 4. Final day, I put in my flippier howler for hole 10, forgot that I wanted the stable one for this hole, so I got here and I'm like, okay, I only have my flippy one. I must have put a little more hyzer on it. Hit one of these early trees, bad spot, throw patent pending, kicks right over past the OB wall. And then from there, my options are to lay back to the fairway, try to take a 6 or a 7, or throw a forehand ante out over the OB and try to save a 6, right? So obviously that's what I did. And, you know, took 8. This is what happens. Maple Hill will teach you one way or another not to be a hero and just take your meds. This is another basket that will be back into its shortened position. This one's always elevated. Once again, going with that howler here. Of course, I go from taking an 8 yesterday to freaking putting it in circle 1. 6 does still have the elevated pin. Time for revenge. Let's go, y'all. That's how you bounce back. I'm coming for you next year, hole 6. I ain't gonna play you 9 up like I did this year. I'm gonna play you 2 down, you know, respectable. That's what I'm going for. This year's MVP Open saw a revised hole 7. They moved us off to the right here in the woods, and it's a late flipping backhand shot for a right-hand player. I still would like to see a small tweak in bringing the pin about 15 feet left here, making it more of a dead straight shot. I think that'll reward more of the pure shots. Right now you see a lot of players, the way it shapes, kind of flip it a little bit early right, get a little bit sneaky through the trees and get up there. So I think the hole will play a little bit more pure as a straight shot, but as is, I'm going understable Wrangler. I got 1 birdie, 3 pars on this hole, so I played it pretty decent throughout the weekend. Let's see if I can get one here. Too much hyzer. I got to pin high, gonna have probably 80-foot putt. Needed a little bit lower, a little less hyzer there. But I hit the gap, hit the gap. Well, I sent it, y'all. You know, y'all, most courses are lucky enough to have 1, 2, maybe 3 signature style holes, whereas Maple Hill feels like it's 18 holes that feel like they're just true signature holes. They all have a little bit of unique character to them, and they're all a great, memorable challenge. Hole 8, the home of the 8 holes. They cheer you on. They want to see you drop that ace, hit that drop zone putt. This year I played one down on it, 2 birdies, 1 bogey, 1 drop zone make for save. So pretty cool to hit it from the drop zone in front of the fans. I'm going with my Founders Spur here, OTB edition stamp. You can find these at otbdiscs.com, so go check them out. Don't forget to use my codes to save at OTB Discs and Lone Star Discs. I like hitting it with a little bit of turn here, letting it fight back. And I like this disc because I can throw it in pretty much any wind. Just like that, whack it over, let it fight. The Spur, great option, forehand or backhand. Now, typically in the tournament, these stands are packed from the start of the day through the end of the day with the 8 holes, chanting you on as you come onto the green and as you approach the tee. Body starting to warm up, we're finding it. All right, it's my homie who's helping out all weekend. About to give us one. Ooh. Oh! Hole 9 has seen probably more changes than any hole on the course over the last few years. We switched from that short over the hill position off the tee into this longer tee position over here that's created this long snaking wooded fairway. The tee shot right now is asking for a right-hand backhand player to release something on quite a bit of hyzer that they can get to stand up and even drift gently to the right. at the end of the flight. So whatever speed of disc you can achieve that with, and whatever stability, it's going to be a very specific shot that you're going to throw on this tee shot that you probably won't throw many other places. I prefer the beat up Wrangler just to not try to do too much with the distance driver, and I think I can control the end of the flight a little bit better with the slower speed. We have that new par 5 position where you're playing that second shot still over the hill, trying to be anywhere down by the bottom, and then we're throwing across the pond, up the hill, and into a new upsloping position that's created a very challenging but rewarding par 5 if you can score on it. Wrangler off the tee here. All right, I'm gonna try one more with my Mockingbird, just because I feel like I've been needing something flippier to throw all week, and I've been putting it off, so now's the time to try it out. That one worked out better, but that thing's pretty stable. Wow. I gotta figure out a flippier disc for this hole. Oh yeah, as far as how I played this hole this weekend, the par 5 position I played very poorly at +5 through 2 rounds. Par 4 position, I played bogey. So this is a hole, along with hole 6. Together I played +16 on the freaking tournament. So frustrating because the rest of my tournament rounds were pretty solid and would have had me in pretty good position to at least be on the cash line, if not quite a bit higher, if I could have found a bit of a rhythm. And I feel like if I could have got through these holes, that really would have helped. But next year, they will be a huge focus of mine. I will dial them in. All right, y'all, thanks to my guy Chris. We just looked for 30 minutes for the dang Wrangler, and it was 2 meters right of where I set my bag. And the classic thing, you say, oh, okay, we're done looking, you know, I appreciate you helping me. And of course we see it right as soon as I say that, but all right. I'm gonna play a layup shot through forehand roller out to here. So this is third shot. Try to get down there, give ourselves a chance at par. But with a soft penny, we'll see if we have good footing or not. Pretty good spot in the layup here. Let's see how far we got into the new par 5 position. I'm probably used to the old pin right there. We have 346 feet in. All right, cleared the field goal with the spur. Let's try to get our par. Maple Hill always brings the wildlife. Here we got a little sunbathing snake hanging out. You always see a bunch of chipmunks and frogs and snapping turtles, fish, you name it. Maple Hill has it all. Bye, buddy. So as far as my tournament went, the front 9 really had my 2 nemesis holes. The back 9 was a little bit more smooth sailing. A couple hiccups here and there, but for the most part, I feel like hole 6 is a hole I got to dial in. Hole 9 is one of those holes that, especially with the new position, got to figure out that second shot. I'd love to see them push that second landing zone to be a little bit wider on that gap coming down the hill so we can set up for across the water. But all in all, every time they make a change out here, it gets a little bit harder, a little bit better for the most part. And now we're waiting on the tee of hole 10, so that means we're on the back 9, so go check it out. I'll see you there.